Hello, this is Dr. Pete, and today is Inauguration Day. And no matter what party you are, it's a big moment in the history of America. The President of the United States, like them or not, is going to be in charge that day as long as they live, or the term is over. And they may even go for a second term. The reason I'm making this video is I had a number of students asking me about the inauguration, and I think it's a historical event, meaning it's not about politics and it's not about party. It's about taking time to watch the constitutional process work. And when you teach government class, that's such a rare thing to be in class and be able to see the Constitution in motion. It only happens obviously every 4 years, okay? So that's a very, very important thing. But there are a number of people that are very critical and they start bringing politics into things. And as an individual, obviously that's your right. You can do whatever you want. But as an educator, especially with kids from K to 12, I'm seeing things on Facebook and calls and emails, and it's very distressing because these educators are so tainted with their bias and prejudice and really ignorance at the end of the day that they're going to harm their kids. For example, it was nothing for me growing up to say, okay, well, there's president being sworn in. It was just normal. It wasn't about Republican, Democrat, Independent. That was the president of the United States. And so when it's your president and you want respect, then you disrespect someone else. Well, why would you think the other side wouldn't disrespect you? It's called mutual respect. And so whether you like it or not, you should have the same reverence, at least to the process. So we, as a republic, that's what we are, a republic, we have stability and we know that we're unified. Now, we want to go to Congress and lobby and fight all those battles in the arena of ideas, no problem. That's different. But when we start attacking the very foundation of the country and the core elements and what makes for stability and the strength of the United States, then you're not being a good American. And I'm just going to call it that way. In the class, we have mutual respect policy. And if more people adhered to that in the real world, then we probably would have a less partisan, less political system, and let's just say less ugliness and meanness. We can disagree without being mean or ugly. We can also agree that sometimes there's two answers to things. They're both okay answers, but one goes one way and one goes the other. Just because you're right doesn't mean I'm wrong, and vice versa. And the reason I keep emphasizing this is, again, what really bothers me is when, especially like a middle school or high school teacher says, I don't like, for example, in this argument, Trump. It's not about Trump. It's about the Constitution, about the office of the presidency. And they make very ugly statements and attack teachers. I have actually Facebook pictures where this, not administrator, but somebody in an office, we'll just leave it at that, they actually called and cursed people, teachers, about letting them watch the inauguration. One teacher said, I let them watch the Obama ones and I'm watching the Trump ones because that's what we do as teachers. We're neutral. But this administrator slash kind of like support staff kind of slash teacher, apparently in her classrooms, it's all about teaching ideology and politics and her politics specifically. And that's not only disgusting, but it's wrong. It's morally, ethically, and professionally wrong. I do things with Kentucky Boys State. I don't go in there teaching ideology. Students may figure out that I have an ideology, but they will not hear me say, you must register as this. You must think this way. What they will hear is, I don't care what policies or politics you are, but I want you to present it well, research and analyze, and then you stand up on your own 2 feet and you can do a good job doing that. Having said that, we're not seeing a lot of that in America right now. We see division, but we see division based off of not being tolerant of other people's opinions. Recently, we're talking about we're going to go up and see the inauguration, but then we see these riots and these fights and protesters throwing stones and rocks at people in D.C. It's time to put the pepper spray up and bring out the riot gear and put people in jail. And the reason is this is an assault not on individuals and Trump. It's an assault on the country. And I don't like it when it happened very little with Obama. I didn't like it when it happened to Bush, and I definitely don't like it happening today. And so as good Americans, we have to say that's wrong and that we don't accept these things. And if you do accept it, that's fine, but you're not being a good American. Because one day When you advocate violence for your side, then the other side is justified in their violence. And I don't agree with that at all. I want my kids to see history. I want them to live and experience as much as they can history so they have their own perspective, their own experiences, and they can make their own decisions what they want to be in life. I don't need a teacher telling my kid where and how and what to think and this is the politics and you either do this or this grade. I'm done with that. In this class that I teach with government, I teach it in multiple places or in life in general with Boys State. I don't care about your politics. I just want to live the moment and understand the historical precedent of it or the importance of it. But I also want people to respect it, because when you respect others, when it's not your turn, then they will respect, or when it is your turn, they will respect you back. And that's how that mutual respect is developed. Having said that, that's enough on the topic, but that's something I think a lot of my students have to hear, that when I grade, I don't care what your politics are. Don't care. Just don't care. I just want to know how you respect other people, how you analyze things, how you research, and how you write them. That's all that matters to me. And I appreciate that. So if you have any other questions or comments, please drop me a line, and best of luck.